Welcome to CoDev Talk Series. I'm Coach Beth, your inside look into life at CoDev. In every episode, we sit down with our leaders, recruiters, and team members to talk about career growth, work culture, industry insights, and everything in between. It's 2026 and the global workforce has completely shifted. You no longer need to migrate to earn a global salary. Today, we're sitting down with recruitment rock stars to unlock the exact blueprint for landing high-paying remote roles with international clients. Hi, Kat. Hi, Julie. How are you both doing today?
Hi, Coach. For one, I'm very glad to be here today. And I'm so happy that I'm sitting down with two amazing people in the company. So,
yeah, feeling great as well, Coach. Thanks for asking and glad to be here. Thank you for having us.
Yeah, thanks for joining us today. And we'd love to know, how long have you been with CoDev and hear more about your role as placement supervisors?
So I can start. I've been with the company for over 6 years now. And in a nutshell, I am responsible for matching candidates with clients for remote opportunities, especially for non-technical roles. So that would involve CSR, TSR, accounting roles, and anything basically for non-technical or marketing-related roles.
Kat?
Yeah, and I think I've been with CoDev for 5+ years already. Same role with Jules, but more on the technical side of things. So we make sure we have the right technical talents for our beloved clients, of course.
Yeah, looks like you have a lot on your plate. So, Kat, we're seeing a massive surge in international clients looking at the Philippines this year. From your perspective on the front lines, what specific skills, both for developers and non-tech roles like accountants and marketing VAs, are in the highest demand right now?
Well, currently, as for the tech roles, we've been seeing a lot of full stack developers with different combinations for the front end and back end side of things. Aside from that, we've been seeing a lot of data engineering, data analysis type of positions, and of course, AI, machine learning opportunities, and how AI is integrated into their processes and their workflows.
Yeah, I agree that AI-related jobs are highly marketable nowadays. So it's really important to keep up with the latest technology and industry trends. Jules, how have client expectations changed between a few years ago and 2026?
From what I've observed, clients a few years ago have been hiring or have been seeing us as a way to hire more talents because we're a lot cheaper. They can hire 5 to 6 CSR at a price of 1 CSR in the US. So it's more cost efficient for them because we're a lot cheaper than the local market. But nowadays, the clients have been seeing us more of a long-term strategic, because the roles that we have right now are not just focused in customer service representatives, the support roles, but we have been seeing managerial roles, team lead, wherein you'll be leading a team of 3 to 5 SDRs in the future once you've really worked on the role already. So that's the main change that I've observed.
And another question for you, Jules. What makes a Filipino professional stand out globally today?
Well, Filipinos in general have strong work ethic. We are adaptable, and we are also reasonably priced without compromising the quality of service that we provide to our clients.
Yeah, that's true. And I think, just to add, Coach, and to piggyback on Jules, probably 3 things also that I could think of, one of which would be communication skills. So Filipinos are really known to be able to convey their messages clearly, whether it be, international clients. A second one would probably be also similar to Joe's adaptability. I think that Filipinos really have this evidence and observed of being resourceful, being able to adapt quickly to ever-changing business requirements and being able to learn as we go. And a third one would probably be, I think, which is ingrained in us, being hospitable, which is, part of our culture, and translating that into like a business environment, that service-oriented mindset, I'd say. So keeping the clients happy, really going the extra mile while keeping up that professional manner.
Yeah, I agree. So customer-centric and customer-oriented.
Yes.
Yeah. And Filipino professionals you mentioned about are known for going an extra mile. So we always strive for excellence and aim to consistently go above and beyond expectations. Let's talk about getting your foot in the door. Our recruiters look at hundreds of profiles weekly. So Jules, what is the #1 mistake Filipino applicants make on their resumes that may disqualify them for international roles?
I wouldn't say it is a mistake. And I also wouldn't say it will automatically disqualify them from a role here in CoDev. But I've observed clients have preference with achievement-based responsibilities rather than task-based.
You say achievement-based. Can you elaborate on that?
When I say achievement-based, that would mean their satisfaction rating for customer service roles or their contributions to the company, like what they have achieved. They have improved the process by 80 or 90%, or they have generally generated more traffic in the websites as a marketing specialist, those kinds of numbers.
Yeah, thank you, Jules. And Kat, how should a software developer's profile differ from an accountant's or a VA's profile when trying to attract premium international clients? Do you think they should focus on portfolios, case studies, or certifications?
Well, I think, Coach, on a general scale, ideal profiles should be results-oriented. So what I mean by that is that information have some sort of proof of execution that in turn highlights a candidate's capability. So for example, with software developers, we have their licenses, certifications. They also have their work experience technologies, which they could partner with their initiatives for the different projects that they're doing. So, and also, of course, the results out of that initiative. I think that could get them far. And then with accounting, though, I think tax and legal background is helpful. They have their licenses and also, for example, the specific industries that the clients that they've worked with, and also the accounting platforms that they've utilized all throughout their experience. Lastly, for VA, I think for VA, communication skills is really a big factor. But in terms of at least profile-wise, it would really be helpful that they also have information on the type of industry of their clients. If they have some sort of testimonials, recommendations from their clients, I think could also get them far. And also perhaps outlining tasks that showcase their quick to action, responsiveness, reliability. I think that would also get them far.
Yeah, thank you, Kat. So my takeaway is when you're structuring the CV, you need to tailor it to the role and industry.
Definitely,
so
yes.
The goal is to show value and build credibility with international clients. Right? So well said, Kat. It's 2026 and everyone is using AI to write resumes. So how do you, as recruiters, spot a genuinely skilled candidate versus someone who just generated a perfect CV?
Yeah, I think I could start with that, Coach. By the way, just to put it out there that it's not a bad thing to use AI, because I think, moving forward, AI has been really integrated into our lives. But to answer your question, Coach, so far, at least in the observation and in my opinion, for profiles that are really heavy on AI, the type of tasks that they have, the phrasing is too perfect, or there's like a sense of perfectionism.
It's like too good to be true.
Yes, but it could still do a little bit more of substance in comparison to experienced or skilled developers, and then their CVs are really straightforward. By straightforward, what I mean to say is the technology that they've used, the initiative, and then the result out of that. So yeah, pretty straightforward bullet points.
Yeah, and to add to that, Kat, actually, since I've been handling mostly non-technical roles, it's sometimes hard to detect if a resume or CV is written using AI. But as you continue doing work, or you've been checking or reviewing resumes, you have the skill to identify that, oh, this is written by AI. And as what Kat mentioned, sometimes it's just too good to be true. When you check the resumes, oh, it's too perfect. But we're not saying that there's no candidate like that. definitely there's someone out there who has really great experience and who has done a lot of responsibilities and has contributed a lot with the companies. But we're able to also identify that once we have the screening interview. Once you talk with the candidates, you'll be able to get a sense of what they have really done or contributed to the company based on how they communicate and how they answer your questions during the interview.
Yeah, I agree. AI is a very useful tool. It makes our work faster and more efficient, but we need to be mindful of the potential downside of relying too much on AI tools. Many Filipinos struggle with imposter syndrome or being too modest during interviews with US or Western clients. So, Kat, how can candidates confidently pitch their value and talk about their accomplishments without feeling that they are bragging?
Well, I think, Coach, imposter syndrome is something everyone probably has experienced at some point in their life. But to answer your question, I think preparation. You could never be too over-prepared for it. So probably objectively outlining the relevance of your background to the role that you're applying for. It would also help if you could get information maybe from the recruiter about the client, the project, the type of business that they're in. And also just wanted to share that that's something we incorporate within our process. Whether a candidate asks for it or not, we provide those. We give them those supplementary notes to help them prep for any interviews.
Yeah, I agree.
And for me as well, Kat, to add to that, I don't think it's bragging to share your achievements during the interview, but it's a way for you to be proud of what you have achieved over the years.
And if you're confident and honest about your skills, don't sell yourself short. You have to know your worth and stand firm on what you deserve. Kat, for tech roles, what does a winning technical interview look like?
Well, in an ideal environment, Coach, someone who could check all the boxes, but realistically, that's not how it is. So I think for interviews, there are a lot of intangibles factoring in that situation. But to answer your question, I think when a candidate could expound the relevance of his background without the client needing to probe too much about it. So I think candidates who have a preset information for or during the interviews, I think that exudes some sort of interest, proactiveness, and of course competence.
And without over-explaining.
Exactly.
Yes. Thank you, Kat. And for specialized non-tech roles, Jules, how do you test for communication?
For non-technical roles, we test communication skills using an AI tool to assess candidates' English proficiency. And to supplement that, we also do screening interviews.
Great. So for those currently exploring remote opportunities, take note of the key insights from our placement supervisors. So let's move to our final topic. There are a lot of freelance platforms out there where people chase clients independently. So why is going through a partner like CoDev a smarter, more stable career move for high-earning professionals in 2026? Jules?
You know, Coach, I've had conversations with freelancers who work as a freelancer for 10 years or more than a decade. And there are two reasons why they're considering CoDev as one of their partner. The first one is stability, both career and financial stability. And the second is the support system in a form of HR, IT for the devices, project supervisors, as well as club engagements that we have here.
Yes, that's true. Similar answer to Jules as well, Coach. Probably two things that I have in mind in terms of what CoDev has. It's a mixture of income opportunities, but at the same time, stability and being able to build long-lasting relationships. It's not so much transactional. I feel like CoDev basically, like what Jules said, for payroll, benefits, we all got that covered. Specific equipment, devices, even licenses, we all got that covered. Basically, so our employees, they could focus more on skills enhancement, their growth, deep dive into the different domains and knowledges that they would, like to learn more about.
So CoDev got your back.
They can just sit back and relax.
Yeah. So we have just heard from our recruitment rock stars. Thank you, Kat and Julie, for joining us. And that is a wrap for today's episode. If you enjoyed this conversation, make sure to like, follow, and share. And check out our open remote roles for developers, accountants, VAs, and support specialists in the description below. So don't just work, thrive with CoDev, where global careers are built for growth. This is Coach Beth. See you in the next CoDev Talk series.